Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 13 of Ultimate Exotics, the review series for the top tier ultimate exotic supercars that are currently available on the lineup, of course, of Gran Turismo 6. And in this episode we're featuring one of the most iconic supercars ever made, if not the most iconic supercar ever made. A car which was so good and so revolutionary and so far ahead of its time that it actually became a benchmark instead of living up to one. A car which, a decade after its release, was still the measure of how good a supercar was. So much so that Bugatti and Porsche even used the car to study its methods and technology in order to make their own supercars. Bugatti, of course, with the Veyron, and Porsche with the also iconic Carrera GT. Now on the game, right off the bat, one thing needs to be made clear about this car, and you're not going to be surprised to hear me say this if you've been around on the channel for a bit longer. It's my personal pet peeve. The thing which annoys me more than anything else about Gran Turismo 6 is the British syndrome. 3 cars above all others which deserve to be among the fastest in the game, and also just so happen to be the fastest cars in the world in real life. Funny that. All 3 are British, all 3 are slower than they should be. The McLaren F1, the XJ220 and the Speed 12. 2 of those cars were officially the fastest car in the world. The Speed 12 probably would have been if they'd have ever bothered to test it. On the game though, all 3 are woefully inadequate for top speed compared to what they should be. And they all kind of struggle around the same kind of speed, between 250 and 270. Now the McLaren is the quickest of the 3 for top speed, sitting at around 273, 275-ish when perfectly tuned for gearing. So still nowhere near what it should be, considering it has 937 horsepower from its naturally aspirated BMW-sourced 6.1 litre V12. It also only weighs a smidgen over 1,000 kilos, so the power to weight ratio is also a very impressive 933 horsepower per tonne. Now the car was of course the brainchild of a genius really, Gordon Murray, probably one of the smartest guys ever to be involved with performance cars. For me he's up there with Jim Hall of Chaparral and a couple of others, and basically his philosophy was simple: to make a car which you could drive yourself to the racetrack in, win the race, and then drive home again. In the modern age, that's just not possible. The cars that are running in the Le Mans and the Formula 1 nowadays just could never be made into legitimate street cars, not without losing most of their performance anyway. The McLaren came out in a time when that was possible, and it achieved that. It was the fastest road car in the world, and also an almost completely dominating racing car. So a pretty amazing machine. Now to be clear, I'm not a huge fan of the McLaren F1. I have a lot of respect for it, but I don't particularly like it that much. It is, however, unarguable that it changed what supercars could be from then on, really. It proved that there didn't need to be a distinction between road car and race car. A vehicle could achieve both if it was engineered and designed properly. And the prices of a McLaren F1 today reflect just how good it is and how much people value that. Now it costs 1 million credits on the game, which is pretty expensive, but from what I can remember, I believe you can win this in career mode. So the value for money is actually very good, considering it's technically free. Performance-wise, it's not at the level that it arguably should be, but for acceleration and track potential, it is everything a McLaren F1 should be. It's very quick off the line, has very strong acceleration through almost all of its performance range, and the handling, as you'd expect from such a lightweight and much more compact than many people think package, gives it very sharp, very focused race car style handling that you would expect from such an iconic car that's in effect born on the road, raised on the track. So, overall the McLaren F1, not too surprising a result really. You'd probably expect me to say these kind of things about the car, but those are the kind of things you have to say. It's a great car. Like I said, I don't love the thing, but it's still a good car. It's also unique in a couple of other ways. It has, of course, an engine bay that's lined with gold for its heat dissipating qualities. It's also relatively unique, certainly on the game anyway, among road cars, in that it has a central seating position. Clever for a number of reasons. One, it gives you perfect weight distribution, as long as there's no passengers. It gives you perfect visibility on the racetrack. It also makes it perfect for any country, because it doesn't need to be on the left or the right. And it's just cool. It allows you to have an extra person in the car, which it means it's more practical also. And that's just one of the many details that make the McLaren F1 so much more thought-provoking than many other supercars, which are just, slap a big V8 in and go like 250 miles an hour. Now, I'm not picking on American cars there, but that is the mentality with many supercars, especially in the early 90s. It was just slap a massive engine in it, get it to do 200, who cares about anything else? The McLaren raised the bar, so much so that even a decade after its release, the Veyron only just beat it. So, that's it for this episode. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.